In Georgia, Republican Governor Brian Kemp is leading his bid for re-election against Democrat Stacey Abrams. Kemp famously did not have the support of former President Trump in his primary. Trump predicted he would go down in flames at the ballot box. Today, he will be campaigning with former Vice President Mike Pence, however. I sat down with Kemp to talk about this all-important midterm election, how he sees Trump's role in all of this, and the impact of the other Republican in his state, Herschel Walker, on the ticket.
You come to vote with us this afternoon?
With 1 week to go before the midterm elections, more than 1.6 million voters in Georgia have already cast their ballots. It's surpassed the level of 2018. It's almost at a presidential election level.
It's incredible.
Georgia residents turning out in droves in the first election since Governor Brian Kemp signed a new voting bill into law, adding restrictions to absentee voting while expanding early voting in most counties.
For them to call it suppressive, the numbers just don't play that fact out.
We have an opportunity.
The bill earned him fierce criticism from Democrats in Georgia.
The voter suppression is alive and well in Georgia.
And inside the White House.
This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
We had a record vote in the primary, and we're seeing it right now in the general election.
But as Kemp makes his final campaign stops, the election drama in his state has centered around the other Republican on the ticket. Kemp is voting for Herschel Walker, but has said little else about the allegations that the GOP Senate candidate has paid for abortions despite publicly opposing the procedure, allegations that Walker has denied.
I think people are going to make that clear choice as to who they're going to vote for, not just in the U.S. Senate race, but all the way up and down the ballot.
Pressed on whether he views Walker's stance as hypocritical, Kemp sidestepped the matter.
I would just tell you to talk to Herschel Walker about his policies on abortion. I'm staying focused on my race and what I can control and trying to help them fight through Joe Biden's inflation.
The Republican governor has instead centered his race on the #1 issue he hears from voters: inflation.
Eggs up 30%, milk, chicken up 15, 17%, gas prices because of bad domestic energy policy. That's the #1 issue. 60% of Americans right now are living paycheck to paycheck.
As Kemp crisscrosses the state with an economic-driven message, there is a noticeable absence on the campaign trail. The former president has not been in Georgia in a few months. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them that question. Look, I'm focusing on getting our vote out.
Despite former President Trump's best efforts, Kemp prevailed in the primary earlier this year and easily defeated his Trump-backed opponent.
And I'm not campaigning on what his record was. You know, I'm campaigning on what I've done in the state.
Kemp's victory revealing the limits of Trump's grip on the party and his efforts to unseat those who refused to join his fight to overturn the 2020 election.
I don't think in 2020 we did a good job in some of our races of letting people know what we're for, what our record is. Even when you disagree with people, if you stand for something, they have great appreciation for that.
Kemp unsuccessfully fought a subpoena to appear before a special grand jury in Atlanta investigating Trump's attempts to undermine the election, and now must testify once his election is over.
I'll tell them the truth, and I'll tell them that I followed the laws and the Constitution of this state.
Of course, he and Abrams met again on Sunday night in a debate. They were talking about these early record turnout numbers that they're seeing in Georgia. She said that she believes that people are voting in spite of that election bill that he signed into law, not because of it. And I think one part that's notable is Gabriel Sterling, who, of course, is a top official in the Secretary of State's office who became so notable during Trump's efforts to undermine and overturn the results.
Right.
He said, it was on CNN the other day, voter suppression is just as much a lie as voter fraud. So you're seeing this split between the Republicans and Democrats.
You are, and I mean, Gabe Sterling, as we were talking about in the break, is someone who came out and warned against what all of this violent rhetoric and election denialism would mean people would die, right? Yeah. And so he said this years ago. The question now is, when you look at all the heat that Kemp and the rest took from SB 202, that bill, what's missed a lot in the conversation is that there are restrictions, but it did extend early voting by weeks. And that's what we're seeing play out right now, isn't it?
I think it's hard to say that there isn't an effort for voter suppression, especially when you look at people who have traditionally been sort of pushed out of the process, and the access that they have, and people trying to cut out on souls to the polls and all those kinds of things. So I think it's really tough. It depends on what you're looking at, what data you're looking at, and look, I think rather than trying to restrict people here and there, I think we should be opening up the voting process. As it should be as easy to vote as possible as it is to get a cup of coffee.
There you
People
go.
should be allowed to vote.
And to Don's point, I mean, isn't this what Stacey Abrams is saying, Caitlin? That you
can't
don't know
always tell when
who's
there's voter
polling,
suppression.
who's getting access,
Yeah.
right?
That's been her argument that she's making. Obviously, that was a point of contention between the two of them. I will say one thing, and it's sad that this stands out, but it did stand out in the debate as I watched on Sunday. When both candidates were asked if they would accept the results of the election, no matter what they are, they both said yes, that they would.
Well, amen. I can't believe we have to celebrate that, but amen.
Yeah.
That's interesting
Right?
because a lot of his things were like, well, you have to ask the other guy. He is on message, but a
Trump
lot of
stuff.
it is a dodge. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, don't forget, 1 week from tonight, CNN's special coverage of the midterm elections will be underway. We begin at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, but Don, Poppy, and I will be going all night long to bring you the results.
No pressure.
This is our new life, folks. Buckle up.
No pressure.